Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Doom 2016 on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries, and in this episode, we'll be continuing on through the Advanced Research Complex. Last part, we got ourselves the BFG, and we used it in the demo room, to blow up a bunch of lightweight demons. And now we're going to be continuing on through the complex as we go through the final of the. Is this the final one, or no? We are getting into the final combat arena. And no, the reason why I'm not using the BFG here is specifically because I want to save my BFG for the surprise fight the surprise fight that happens at the very end of this combat arena.
I see. They definitely encourage the BFG by clustering so many enemies right at the onset. After we should be in the mode to be all excited, saying, "Wow, I want to use the BFG on everything."
Yeah, but even with maxed out ammo upgrades from our Argent cells, I still only have 3 rounds for it. They do give you a decent number of BFG rounds throughout the game, but you still need to, be somewhat conservative with them.
Right. I would not imagine that the BFG would open opportunities to get glory kills.
It does not. Anything that the BFG kills ends up with exploded body parts.
So you can't get ammo for the BFG by getting glory kills with it.
Under normal circumstances, I believe it's either ammo boost or Rich Gets Richer as a runes, and we don't actually have access to Rich Gets Richer yet, but one of the runes specifically, when it's fully upgraded, will allow you to get BFG ammo from glory kills. To be perfectly honest, although it's really cool, it takes fucking forever to get the one that's associated with it, so I never actually end up building that rune.
Really, just like the Magnum from other game, you know how best to use the Magnum, especially so if you have prior experience. So you know when the game is trying to draw your fire, when you're better off saving it for a better moment of truth.
A more opportune expenditure of resources.
Opportune moment. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Oh, look, another summoner. And dead summoner.
I want you in my car when I'm trying to just concentrate on the road and jam the music.
Ah, crap. Cyber Incubi. Multiple Cyber Incubi. As I mentioned before, the best way to deal with the Cyber Incubi in general is to just use the rocket launcher on their weak spot, specifically head and stomach. Also, they have a weak spot on their back, but it's never a thing that I end up trying to do.
They're really upping the explosive potential on these battles.
And Precision Bolt. If you do it correctly, two fully charged Precision Bolts to the head will take out a Cyber Mancubus. Because of how tight this arena ends up being, though, I end up not being able to do that.
Well, I was going to say, you should definitely not stand in the middle of them, and I see that they're doing the work for you by standing together like idiots, which is totally counter strategy to flanking an opponent, which would be most effective when you have 2 heavily armored foes on the battlefield.
And oh, come on. Boom! Dead Keko Demon. I fucking love the Gauss Cannon. Precision Bolt Gauss Cannon was my either favorite or second favorite run throughout my first playthrough, which was really disappointing because I didn't actually get the Gauss Cannon early during my first playthrough. I saw that it was there, but I couldn't figure out how to get it. It wasn't until my later playthroughs, after I gone through the game at least 1.5 full times, that I had bothered to go secret hunting. But yeah, after the primary part of the combat arena, we called the elevator, and then
another fight encounter.
Yes, 2 Barons of Hell show up.
Only this time you have restricted movement because of all these walls they put up.
Yeah, but the Barons of Hell still die from 1 BFG round, so.
Lockdown disengaged.
If you do it correctly,
sure,
and you bait the Baron, if you do it correctly and you bait the Barons of Hell into being in a line, you can actually kill both Barons of Hell with a single BFG shot. You need to know that you can do this for. Ooh, we got almost everything. God damn it! But you need to know that you can kill 2 Barons of Hell with a single BFG shot for the last mission of the game. There's a map challenge to kill 2 Barons of Hell with 1 BFG round. The Lazarus Labs. The Lazarus Labs ends with our first actual boss fight. Yes, there are boss fights in Doom 2016. There are exactly 3 of them, and the end of Lazarus Labs gives us our first one. It's a very iconic monster from the series.
This facility. Few have ever seen the stone.
I'm arriving terribly late to this party. I just wanted to applaud this game for making references to the New Testament and Jesus in a game that is very much constantly reminding you that you're in hell. Because the story of Lazarus was, as Jesus was performing his miracles, he happened upon a village where a family was mourning the death of a man named Lazarus. So he blessed Lazarus, and Lazarus came back to life. And he said, "My God, it's a miracle."
I did not know that was a tie-in for Lazarus. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm happy to inform you of your scripture, sir.
All right. So what else are we trying to get for our weapon upgrade points? Are we actually just going to get an upgrade for stun bomb?
Longer stun. Yes! I love it when we see eye to eye on these upgrades.
Well, I'm running out of things to actually. Spend weapon upgrade points on, Mr. Cloud. I've got almost everything now. I still need a weapon mod in order to get the second upgrade for the plasma rifle. And once we have that, then we're having an Olivia moment.
It could jeopardize the entire mission. For he is the only.
Oh, is she talking about us?
Yes, she is talking about the Doomslayer, who is who we are.
Yay, we have a name.
We got a new sub-weapon, the Siphon Grenade. The Siphon Grenade is a weapon that, although I like the concept of, is actually pretty poor on its execution. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It siphons off enemy health and gives it to the Doomslayer. But you end up, it's actually really effective against smaller enemies, but I end up using it against bigger enemies more often than not. And because I end up using it on bigger enemies more often than not, I don't really get to, have it be all that effective.
So, am I to recognize the trope that pretty much every time this game gives us a new weapon, it immediately puts us in a tiny mook situation where we get to test it and see how cool it is?
No, because if you find the secret Gauss cannon, which we showed off earlier, they specifically do not put you immediately into a scenario where you get to test it out. But that is for the secret weapons, to be perfectly honest. Like the secret chain gun, arguably gets a weapon demo, but you're mostly because you're already in a miniature combat arena when you find that. So super health into a combat arena. This combat arena is one that I end up disliking a bit because although it isn't all that difficult, there's a lot more verticality in the combat arenas all throughout the Lazarus Labs that makes it so that specific enemies like these Revenants and the Imps become more difficult to track down. I honestly really enjoy the verticality in general when it comes to map exploration and even a bit when it comes to combat. But Lazarus ends up having a little bit too much verticality in specific instances.
Well, certainly verticality with all these platforms and just innumerable invitations to use double jump.
Hey, we're actually using our super shotgun. This isn't the thing that I've actually brought up all that much in this playthrough specifically, but I am not actually a fan of the super shotgun in this game. I actually really like the upgrade that it got in Doom Eternal, but in in Doom 2016, although it is not actually a terrible weapon at all, you kind of need to get the upgrade points for it to actually do the things that it's famous for, specifically from Doom 2. And even then, it ends up actually being more or less a weakened version of Quake's railgun. As in, it has the ability to have most of its damage pierce through targets. The thing is, a lot of the time while you're fighting in Doom 2016, enemies don't actually position themselves in a way where a railgun style damage output is actually all that effective. You'll notice it while we're going through here, despite the fact that we have 3 relatively, upwards of 6 actually, hallways that we can actually bait our enemies into. They don't end up, because of the verticality and because of the size of the enemies and because of how agile they are, they don't tend to stay in those, they don't tend to stay in those, lanes so much.
Yeah, I never really cared for the Punisher in Resident Evil 4 either. It's useful on the guys that use the wooden shields, but waiting for everybody to stand in a fucking line, so say, okay, there are 5 of you in a line now I'm gonna get 5 in one. Yeah, it's cool when that happens, but it's seldom situational and not gonna happen. You're better off just using the fully upgraded handgun and getting headshots.
But there are a couple of story segments in RE4 where they put a legion of shield users in front of you, and that's when you're supposed to use that, right?
Yep, and that's when Punisher cracks its knuckles and says, "My time to shine."
But again, those are really rare instances. I think thematically, there's only like 3 of those that actually happen.
Yeah, like I said, you are more than twice as likely to run into a shielded enemy because the Punisher can penetrate through shields, which honestly I think was the intended function, is use it to, stop these guys from either wasting your shotgun ammo, grenades, or rifles, and also from hitting Ashley by attacking en masse.
Oh look, another hidden chain gun. Aha!
Yay.
Also another Predator suit token. Now that we have 3, we're getting a point into dexterity. Yay! Now we can switch. Now I think that's the one that allows us to switch our weapon mods slightly faster. I'll be honest, I don't use that one that much. It is useful for exactly one weapon for me, and that's the Gauss Cannon. And that's because the Gauss Cannon switching between Siege Mode and Precision Bolt is actually relevant twice, like in the entire game. This should be our last weapon mod. No, we actually have 2 other weapon mods. I think we actually ended up missing one of them earlier, though, so... We got the remote detonation for the rocket launcher. The remote detonation is honestly a very powerful tool that I never fucking use. It's not that it's a bad tool. It's actually a really, really good tool, as I've already mentioned. But the ability to attempt to guide an explosive like the rocket launcher into a more effective area just ends up being a bit more complicated than it is useful,
Well, it certainly wouldn't be very useful in this tight corridor situation.
Yeah, in a lot of the more open combat arenas, it's definitely useful, but it's not something that I actually end up using. Anyway, we found the map. Ha
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. This is past Gerdat being a bit lost on where he's supposed to go. Here we are. Lazarus Labs is not a level that I end up going back to on my own time a lot. Is it next level? I don't think it's the next level, but it's the level after that I go back to all the because the next level is Titan's Realm, and I'll go back to Titan's Realm all that often either. But my favorite boss fight is in 2 levels from now, so I end up playing Necropolis a lot. This hidden area always fucks me up because it doesn't glow like a bunch of other hidden areas not necessarily do, but look like they want to. And it is a secret, so you can get this rune. Haha! In the next episode, we will do this rune and continue on with the Lazarus Labs. Be safe, everybody.